Okay, 6.2, here's the first 5 story problems that you were supposed to do for homework. You've got a 24-foot ladder, and it's leaning against the wall, and it makes an angle of 75 degrees with the ground. So I drew a picture. They want to know how high up the wall does this ladder reach. So they want this distance. Oops. They want this distance from here to here. So you've got this angle, and you have these two right here. So I use sine. Sine of 75 is opposite over hypotenuse. And when you cross multiply, you should have gotten 23.2 feet. Is that correct? Then they want to know how far is the base of the ladder from the wall. They want this distance, which I called y. So I used cosine for this one. Cosine of 75 is y over 24, call that y, and that answer is 6.2 feet. The next one, a plane takes off at an angle of 5 degrees after traveling 1 mile. How high is the plane above the ground? So you want this. 1 mile is 5,280 feet. So what trig ratio will you use? Sine. Sine of 5 degrees is equal to side opposite over hypotenuse. When you cross multiply, you get 460.2 feet. Next one. The Ohio Turnpike has a maximum uphill slope of 3 degrees. Now obviously this is not drawn to scale. 3 degrees is a lot smaller than that, but you wouldn't be able to see it if I drew really 3 degrees. It'd be hard to write that. So I exaggerated, picture's not drawn to scale. So the maximum uphill slope is 3 degrees. How long must be this hill, this uphill segment, for a vertical rise to be 450 feet? So again, I'm going to use sine. Sine of 3 degrees is 450 over x, so really it's 450 divided by sine of 3. Your answer is 8,598.3 feet. 8,598.3 feet. Next. Okay, this one says, suppose that a person with a reach of 27 inches and a shoulder height of 5 feet, so you have a 5-foot person from here to here is 5 feet, which is 60 inches, and a 27-inch arm reach, is going to try and touch this mountainside. And the mountainside makes an angle of 62 degrees right here. So we have to think of this as a right angle. So do you see this triangle right here? See this triangle right here? I drew it right here. So you have this triangle right inside here is here. Now, if this is 62 degrees, this angle would be 28 degrees. This is going to be an interesting video. You know how many people watch in front of it? This is going to be 28 degrees. Now convert the 5 feet to inches. This is going to be 60 inches. They want to know, can this person reach the mountain? He's got 27 inches. So from what does this segment have to be? So let's do some trig. We're going to do the tangent of 28 is x over 60. And when you cross multiply, you get 31.9 inches. He's only got 27 inches. Is he going to reach the mountain? He's short. He cannot reach it. Number 45. We have a wire from the top of a tower, and it's making an angle of 49.5 degrees with the ground. It is 225 feet from the base of the tower. So how high is this tower? I would use tangent. tangent of 49.5 is x over 225, and cross multiply, you get 263.44. Okay? Is everyone okay with those questions? Now, I want you to look at the story problems on the notes. I want to go through these. These, it says the notes. I'm going to do these next 4 with you guys.
Need you right now. Yep.
Okay, number 1, and this will be on YouTube, so you can watch it on YouTube. Number 1, a plane takes off at an angle of 6 degrees, traveling 200 feet per second. So here's your plane, it's taking off. And the angle is 6 degrees. This is 6 degrees. How long will it take for this to reach 8,000 feet? So this is gonna be 8,000 feet right here. And we learned that distance is equal to the rate times time. So how long is it gonna reach? So we wanna know, we've gotta do something with this. The speed is 200, but we don't know how long. So this side is 200 t. So you've got this triangle that you're gonna use trig with, but instead of, this is gonna be a 200 t instead of just a number. So you've got, we're gonna use sine. Sine of 6 is side opposite over hypotenuse. So now we gotta solve for t. Figure out what the sine of 6 is and multiply it by 200 t. You get 20.9 t is 8,000. Then you're going to divide 8,000, divide 20.9. You're going to get 382.67. But this is in seconds. Would you tell someone it took 382.67 seconds to reach 800 feet going at 200 miles per hour? You'd probably want to divide this by 60 to get it in minutes. You get 6.3 minutes. So next time you go, you're in an airplane, you could think about this problem. 200, if you're going, if the pilot's going 200 feet per second, when are you going to be 8,000 feet? In about 6 minutes. Next one. From a window that's 35 feet or meters high, let's draw a window. Here's your window, and this is 35 meters high. And they talk about this angle of depression. Angle of depression is measured from the horizontal. It's going down this way. There's a street lamp. Here's your lamp. Okay? The angle of depression to the top of this street light is 55 degrees. And the angle of depression to the bottom of the street lamp, so from here to here, is 57.8 degrees. So this angle is 57.8. It's going to be hard to write that in there. We want to know how high is this lamp post? How tall is the light? So, what are we going to do? It'd be nice if we knew, see this, check out this triangle right here. Right here. We know this angle, right here, but we don't know this measurement or this measurement. But if we could figure out this measurement, we could subtract it from 35, because from here to here is 35, right? So, using this, how could we figure out maybe this side? Well, you can use tangent. tangent of 55 is y. Actually, first you're going to do tangent of 57.8 to get this. You're going to use this angle to figure out this side. Tangent of 57.8 to get this. So we'll call this y over, it'd be, I'm sorry, opposite over y. So this whole angle, I'm looking at this triangle right here. So tangent of 57.8 is opposite, I'm sorry, opposite over adjacent. So you're gonna figure out that this dimension right here is 22.04. You can use your calculator. Now, we're gonna use this side right here. Now we're saying that this is 22.04. Now we're gonna concentrate on this little triangle right here. And if we're gonna figure out this, we'll call this x. So now you're gonna use tangent of 55 is equal to the opposite over adjacent, which is 22.04. So you're gonna get from the top of the pole, the light, to this is gonna be 31.5. So now if you subtract, if this is 31.5 and this whole thing is 31, this is 35, and this is 31.5. If you subtract, you'll get the height of the pole, right, the lamp. So 35, this whole thing, minus this, 31.5, and you get 3.5. So the street lamp is 3.5 meters. Number 3. A plane flies in a straight course, and on the ground there's two, here's your plane, there's your plane, there's two observers. And the observers are 2 feet apart from each other. So from the distance between the two observers are 2 feet. The angle of elevation of one observer to the plane, so that the observers are on the ground. This one sees the plane at 71 degrees, and obviously my drawing's not to scale. This one sees it at 46 degrees. We want to know how high is the plane above the ground if these two are 2 feet apart from each other. So we're going to call this x. Now, if these two guys are 2 feet apart, we don't know this distance. They're not each like a mile apart from each other. So we're going to call from here to here y, and then from here to here would be 2 minus y. So now I need 2 equations. Look at this triangle right here. You're going to use tangent. Tangent of 46 is equal to the side opposite over the hypotenuse. And then the other triangle, or not opposite over adjacent. The other triangle right here, tangent of 71 equals the side opposite over the adjacent. So here's this tangent of 71 is opposite over adjacent. So now we've got 2 variables. You learned in Algebra 1 how to solve systems of equations. What could we do? Well, you could solve each of these for x. So for this one, x is equal to tangent of 46 times 2 minus y. Doesn't matter how you write that. And then this one, x is equal to tangent of 71 times y. And these two numbers are just decimals, so you just type in your calculator tangent of 76, tangent of 41, and distribute. So what you're going to do now is set these two quantities equal to each other. You've got 2 minus y times the tangent of 46 equals the tangent of 71y. You're going to solve for y. Y ends up being 0.5256. And now, how do you think you're going to solve for x? Because that's what we really want to know. How high is the plane? What do you think you're going to do with this number? I'd probably plug it in right here, probably the easiest place. Then multiply tangent of 71 times 0.5256, and you're going to get x is 1.53. Yes. Yeah. Okay, last one. A plane is traveling at a constant speed of 300 miles per hour at a heading of 65 degrees. Measured. Heading means you're measuring clockwise. Instead of think of the x-axis, you're thinking of the y-axis. So if you measure something 65 degrees, you're going 65 degrees this way. So from here to here is 65 degrees. So you're going to think of this triangle like this. So if this is 65, this angle is 25 degrees. Okay? So here's your plane. It starts off right here and it's going in this direction. The speed at which it's going is 300 miles per hour, according to the problem. 300 miles per hour. So 300 miles for a half an hour, it says how far east, so this is your east, how far east is the plane after a half an hour? So remember, distance is equal to rate times time. So if you do, distance is equal to 300, that's the speed, times a half hour, your distance is 150 miles. So what you have here is a triangle with 150 as your hypotenuse, and the side adjacent is how far east. So you're going to use cosine of 25 degrees. Why am I not using 65? Because this is our right triangle right here. Cosine of 25 is side adjacent over 150. So we cross multiply to get E is 135.9 miles. Then there's another question. How far north is the plane? We want this measurement, north. After, now the time changes, it's 2 hours and 24 minutes. Well, 2 hours and 24 minutes is 2.4 hours. And how you get the 0.4 is you divide 24 by 60. 24 divided by 60 is 0.4. So your distance, you're going 300 miles for 2.4 hours. It's 720 is your hypotenuse now. So now we've got 720 is your hypotenuse. It's still a 25-degree angle, but we want to know the north amount. So we're going to use sine. Sine of 25 is opposite over hypotenuse. Cross multiply, and you get 304.3 miles. Those were your notes for today. I want you to finish those last 4 story problems on this trig packet this weekend. Do the next 15. Test 4, we're on test 4, right? Test 4 and the next 10 Kaplan.